Hi beauties, welcome back to my channel, Beauty and Beyond. I'm Z, your personal beauty consultant, and I hope you have your baddie passports ready because on this episode of How to Be a Baddie Around the World edition, we will be traveling all the way to Vietnam. Today we will be discussing the lifestyle habits and beauty habits, including hair secrets, skincare, self-care, and fashion trends that are all commonly practiced by the women that live in Vietnam, as well as just Vietnamese women in general. If you would like to support this channel so that I can continue making videos like this one, you can become a part of the Queen's Haven on Patreon, where you get early access to videos like this one, as well as access to content that is for patrons only. Other ways you can support this channel is by leaving a like, subscribing, commenting, and sharing this video with a friend. I would really appreciate that. You can also join the Discord, which is completely free, where women from all around the world discuss their beauty habits, tactics, and techniques that they practice on a daily basis. We're also very active in the community tab, so you can definitely head on over there and interact with the community here on YouTube as well. With all of that out the way, let's get right into the video. The language in Vietnam is a very unique one. It's a more tonal language that relies on inflections like singing a song. The way of their language can also be described as parabolic, as if they speak in poems rather than being direct or matter of fact like the English language. There is a common saying that directly translates to, "The virtue defeats the beauty" in English. This quote emphasizes the value that Vietnamese women place on being a virtuous person with good morals. Vietnamese women are usually very closely tied to their culture, especially older Vietnamese women who pass down their centuries-old beauty traditions to younger women of this generation. In most Asian cultures, and especially in Vietnam, skincare and beauty maintenance is taught to be a priority from a very young age. Also, it's important to mention that by some Vietnamese standards, even before colonial times in the pre-19th century and still going on to this day, having bright and pale skin is seen as the epitome of beauty in Vietnamese culture. This is because having darker or more tan skin has always been associated with having to do physical labor like farming in order to sustain a living. During the pre-19th century, stories and poems about royalty and princesses in Vietnam emphasized their white skin and virtuous behavior, creating a familiarity and association between having pale skin and higher classes in society. After Vietnam was colonized by the French, this standard was further perpetuated and solidified through advertising and marketing that pushed and promoted skin lightening and skin bleaching to women in Vietnam. Despite all of this, there are a number of tanned and darker skinned Vietnamese women in media, especially Western media, who have experienced lots of success and are known for being influential and beautiful, like Jeannie Mai and Hanai, who, after winning Miss Universe Vietnam 2017, represented Vietnam at Miss Universe 2018 and reached the top 5. As far as life in Vietnam, people there are exposed to beautiful landscapes, and they also have access to cheap food almost everywhere. Living in the city can be very hectic, especially because of their traffic and air pollution in the city. There are also not many pathways for walking. However, most Viets who live in the city love the culture and are accustomed to the busy lifestyle. Living in the countryside, however, is considered more traditional and peaceful. From personal experience, I find that Vietnamese women are very diverse in their moods, attitudes, and even social expectations. For example, American Vietnamese women are more accustomed to Western standards than Vietnamese women overseas. However, both are still heavily involved in their traditional cultural practices in some way. Vietnamese women can be very fierce. They are super loyal to their family and they expect that loyalty in return tenfold, and you can't really blame them. They're very resilient and hardworking and make a lot of sacrifices so that their future generations can be set for life. Vietnamese women definitely value things that last a long time. When striving for success, they are very disciplined and will work very hard for the things that they want for themselves and, most importantly, their family. Vietnamese women also love and really know how to have fun. There are many Vietnamese karaoke bars and clubs, and they're always super lit. It's not uncommon to see Vietnamese live streamers doing karaoke as well. Even singers like Mina Young started out her career singing karaoke online. Overall, Vietnamese women love to get dressed up and party with friends and family. Consumerism is a big part of Vietnamese culture. Fancy and elaborate house decor is a big thing for Vietnamese women because they like to throw really big parties and gatherings at each other's houses. It's not uncommon to find artistic ceramics, embroidery art, and especially flower decorations in a Vietnamese household. In some households, they even like to paint the walls different colors like pink and yellow as opposed to having plain white walls that are really common in Western society. In general, there are many successful Vietnamese families, and they really love to relax and enjoy a life of luxury to their standard. Getting into the Vietnamese women's hair, they are known for having very thick and long hair. It is actually common to cut a baby's hair bald when they are young so that it grows back long and full. To keep it silky and healthy is a top priority. They are sure to comb through their hair on a daily basis from the ends to the root in order to keep it healthy and from tangling. Today, it is very common to dye their hair pitch black or brown as it is more aesthetically pleasing. Highlights are also popular as well. When it comes to hair, there are 3 products that stood out to me the most during my research. So the first one is going to be Subaki, which is a popular shampoo and conditioner that I've seen many Viet women talking about on forums online. Nuxe oil is also pretty popular among some Vietnamese women, as well as Cocoon, which is a natural beauty product and it's an oil that's used for the scalp. As far as skincare, Vietnamese women prefer quality skin products that actually work. In Vietnam, they import a lot of their skincare from other Asian countries like Korea and Japan. It is also not common for women outside of Vietnam to travel to their home country and come back with luxury brands like Estee Lauder and Lancome. Shiseido is also a really popular brand amongst Vietnamese women. What it seems to me is that they prefer trusted, high-quality luxury brands that have been around for a long time when it comes to skincare. Biore sunscreen is a pretty popular product among some Vietnamese women. And as far as DIY and natural skincare regimes, I heard that papaya face masks are pretty popular as well. Turmeric is also helpful for brightening acne scars. And in Vietnam, there is a plethora of fruits and spices that women use every day to enhance their beauty, as it is very important to them. It is also not uncommon to see Vietnamese women protecting their skin from the sun in general. Some, and emphasis on some, rarely stay out in the sun at all or will use hats and umbrellas to shield themselves from sun rays, especially in Vietnam because the UV index is very high. And even though it's super hot there and humid, they will literally walk around in gloves, jackets, and jeans to shield themselves from the sun. As far as fashion, style, and makeup, it is not uncommon for Vietnamese women outside of Vietnam to travel back to their home country to get brow tints, brow lamination. Permanent makeup is really popular, including permanent lip liner and permanent brows. Permanent eyeliner is pretty popular as well. Also, of course, nail services, all for a cheaper price. This is really common, actually, as they prefer to have their services done by people who look like them. As for makeup, Vietnamese women tend to follow other Asian beauty trends that have recently become popular. So, for example, the everyday go-to makeup for a Vietnamese woman might be similar to Doyen aesthetics, or glam makeup might be similar to Thai makeup aesthetics. And although they like to use Korean brand makeup, they typically like more color on the lips and the cheeks, including cherry reds and pinks. When it comes to style, Vietnamese women prefer high quality clothing that is considered comfortable. They love designer handbags and shoes, but everything else can be considered more relaxed when it comes to style. There are also a lot of Vietnamese women today who subscribe to certain aesthetics, especially the Y2K look, which is very popular. When it's time to go for a night out, Vietnamese women don't shy away from tight midi dresses, midriff bearing two pieces, and high heels. Some Viet girls prefer to have either cutesy, grungy, or model-esque looks when it comes to their style and fashion. Overall, in my opinion, there's something about Vietnamese women's fashion that reads sexy and classy at the same time, like they master it perfectly. The national traditional dress in Vietnam is the áo dài, a silk tunic with pants worn by women and men. Áo dài are worn for special occasions, including Tet, the New Year celebration, and weddings. I find that hair accessories are really popular as well and very cute too. Decorated hair clips and pins are popular amongst many Vietnamese women. They love wearing accessories like combs, clips, and hair sticks, all with elaborate and decorative designs. I noticed that feminine and dangling jewelry is also pretty popular amongst Vietnamese women. Silver and gold are pretty much equally popular, very dainty and subtle, yet feminine jewelry just seems to be a big thing amongst the women in Vietnam. Jade is also really popular. So jade rings, necklaces, and jewelry are also popular culturally, actually. Jade has been worn in Vietnam since 5000 BC for many purposes, including jewelry, tools, and weapons. In Vietnamese culture, jade is considered a status symbol, a good omen, and green gold that represents instant wealth. Jade jewelry is also culturally rich in both history and design, not to mention that it's really expensive. When it comes to health and wellness, cardio is a big thing for a lot of Vietnamese women. Low intensity workouts are also very common because they prefer to be very thin and lean. However, Vietnamese food is really where they get a lot of their nutrition and is mostly responsible for their lean figures and overall beauty. They rarely ever eat canned or processed food. They prefer their food fresh. Fresh fish, free-range chicken, fresh vegetables and fruits, fresh everything. Soup dishes are very popular amongst Vietnamese women as they are high in nutrients, which help the immune system, skin, hair, and nails. Fish oil is a common ingredient used in most Vietnamese dishes. Fish oil is a well-known source of omega-3 fatty acids, which have many beauty benefits for the skin, hair, and nails. Ginger is also a very common and a very beautifying food that is consumed almost on a daily basis. It is also very important to know that when they cook these soups, they remove the fat so they do not keep the fat in the soup. So some examples of these soup dishes are, of course, pho, the soup everyone knows and loves, but even better than pho are dishes like bún bò, bún riêu, and curry soup. These soups are high in collagen because they contain bone broth. If you've been watching this channel for a while now, bone broth is like following us everywhere, wherever we go on this baddie playlist. It's everywhere. You can't escape bone broth and tallow. So I think this is like a staple when it comes to just skincare in general. Honestly, I was blessed to experience firsthand cooking of all of these soups and dishes. And let me just say, these other soups, to me, they blow pho out of the water, like no pun intended. If you haven't tried them, go to an authentic Vietnamese restaurant and try them. Not only are these dishes great for your health, but they're absolutely the best dishes I've ever had in my life, hands down. Vietnamese women are amazing cooks. Other than that, white rice dishes are also very common as well, but everything is considered in proportion. It is literally so easy to go crazy with the proportions when it comes to Vietnamese food because everything is literally that good. This was actually a pretty quick video, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. That's really all I have for you all. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I pronounce something wrong. Definitely let me know. If you want to add more to this conversation and more to the knowledge, definitely leave a comment down below. But again, thank you for watching. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers. That's so amazing. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it.